Couldn't get the live stream to start a moment ago, but here we are. It's now started. Couldn't get the live. If you heard that, that's because I have my Twitch open. Clearly, I'm live then, because I just heard myself talking. Let's log in. Wait a minute. I think I need an audio check. No, we're good. We're good. Sound's all set up. All right. We're good. We're good. Yeah, just went to go live, and it didn't start. It couldn't start, and then it gave me an error. But just tried again, and it worked. So whatever. Peeps, I'm digging a tunnel, right? I'm digging a tunnel, and it's got to be underneath this path. So I'm forever gonna be like looking up like this, which kind of sucks. Kind of sucks. Also, this thing is supposed to be 2 blocks deep, but I think it might be better to make it 3 and be on the safe side. Oh, and these diagonal bits are going to be the worst as well. Let's just start with it being too high, and I can think about the rest of it later. So this is what we're doing for the beginning of the stream, peeps. We're just going to be chilling out, hanging, chatting, maxing, relaxing, ain't too taxing, and digging a secret tunnel for a secret project. Sometimes we just do the grinds on these streams. Is that okay? Secret tunnel! Someone's excited about it. They're like, whoa, a secret tunnel? Dang. Glad you're excited. Yo, we got Jascree here for 26 months. Geordie7859 here for 41. Kitty Gaming 99 for 97. So close to 100. That's amazing. Gonna have to write your name down on the list soon. You're gonna get animated into the dungeon. Thank you, Kitty Gaming. Appreciate it. You should travel more time zones of funny things. Are you traveling right now? Are you like watching from a different location? That kind of thing. Traveling's great. I've done a lot of traveling the last couple of years. And to the point where it sort of feels like I got my... kind of like got a bit of a fix for it. You know? And now I'm just like happy to go whenever the opportunity arises, you know? But I'm also good with not traveling, you know? It's like I got it out of my system, that kind of thing. So yeah, welcome everyone. We did a bonus stream yesterday. I might even stream again tomorrow. It kind of depends on if we can get the server updated. So depending on when that drops, will influence when I stream again. So our schedule might change over the weekend, is kind of what I'm getting at. I don't like how far away from the top there I am when we're at this height. You love it when Twitch is bugged. It's showing me you got 1 viewer. Well, you know that you're watching, so I mean, maybe that's it. Maybe you're the only one. Just found a zombie horse with a zombie holding a spear. Minecraft is turning into horror. Well, you know, check the warden. Check the warden. That added horror to the game, no doubt. Maybe we're not real, says Gamlin UK. Maybe not. You know what? I heard a story today about Taylor Swift. Her new record, and how there was discourse online about how like it's secretly like MAGA and Nazi. Like her lyrics are all actually about Nazism, and like I'm hearing this, like this just sounds utterly absurd, right? Utterly absurd. Not that I've listened to the record, you know, but it just sounds like one of those things where like, oh yeah, okay, is that now? Some journalists have like exposed. They've analyzed the traffic, because remember, like, in the moment, information travels around, and then it takes people time to digest and divulge the information and build an analysis of it. And it's that slower process that always seems to get lost. That's the thing that reaches people last. So they've analyzed the traffic, and they're saying, like, we can see that a bulk of this original traffic is bot behavior, right? And if you don't think that there is people out there trying to do this sort of stuff, that's wild. When and where they're doing it, that could be a little harder to pin down. But we should all know at this point what we see online. Always take it with a pinch of salt, and remember, sometimes opinions get manufactured, you know? So anyway, they're coming out and saying, like, actually, this is, you know, clearly bot behavior and these are manufactured opinions. Why they're trying to do all of this, we don't know. There's some theories. And then you get people pushing back against it, saying that these journalists are being paid to do this and stuff, and they're just trying to discredit the whole thing. And it's like, oh boy. And then someone could probably come along and say those people were paid by someone to discredit the journalists. And then you could say that those people saying that, you know, like, it's just, we're losing trust left, right, and center. We're losing shared reality. It's mental. It's mental. Yo, Night Elf 23, thank you for 16 months. You woke up to an extreme, best way to start the day. Pancake 19, 9 months, Twitch baby. We get to play you an animation. Thank you for your amazing support. And Grian Girly, thank you for subscribing and welcome aboard. Sounds right up there with the Paul is Dead Beatles conspiracy. I'm not sure I'd put those in the same category. Some of the older conspiracies, they're a little, they seem a little less harmful or insidious, whereas some of these modern ones feel like intentional disinformation campaigns to kind of like sow discord between, not discord, like, oh, we got a hype train. Thank you for the reminder, Bear. Let's get the animation rolling. People love the animation. When X added a country of origin into the account info, a lot of provocative accounts were unmasked, being in reality from, let's call them, the usual suspect countries. Says Uriel. Yeah, places where there's like bot farms, you know, like there'll be like a warehouse with loads of mobiles connected to the internet. And like you can buy clicks and likes and traffic, and then you can buy comments on these profiles and stuff. Yeah, you're right. It does coincide with that, doesn't it? So now we can better analyze what's taking place online. And you know, if I were in charge of a social media company, right, I would be making changes like that left, right, and center. I'd be like going for transparency, changing algorithms to not engage or promote you know, antagonistic content, but to get a little bit more harmony and discord on the internet. But that tends to not align with, you know, the incentive of pleasing your advertisers and getting lots of clicks so you can advertise things. Those incentives are poorly aligned. So yeah, anyway, it's mad to me that people first of all buy into this idea that Taylor Swift is actually trying to promote Nazism. But then the thing that really rubs me the wrong way is that people buy into it, and then when someone comes out and like does some journalistic rigor and finds out what's going on, you disagree with it, and so you just say, oh well, they were paid for it. You know, where's the paper trail? What evidence you got? People just say stuff online. They just shout it out. Oh, that doesn't conform with my opinion. Therefore, obviously, someone paid for it or whatever. Oh, it's driving me nuts. It's driving me nuts what's happening online. She's not speaking against the allegations when she can outright say she's not MAGA or Nazi. Right, but that just feeds the BS, right? Okay, so she comes out and she says, well, then I start shouting in my corner that you're... Oh my god, I don't know, what's... some other horrible thing. Is she's secretly a lizard person, right? I start shouting, but Taylor, you're secretly a lizard. People, stop hiding the truth. Does she have to come out and say I'm not a lizard person? Right? It's honestly, when someone wants to speak out against some kind of negativity that is clearly manufactured and BS, I think it's up to them. If they feel like they want to address it, go for it. If you feel like silence is better, do your thing. There's no wrong or right to it, right? It's really up to her. But see how this creates the problem. Like, this BS idea gets inserted into the discourse, and then it allows people to fall into that trap of like, now we're critiquing her for something that's false. Like, it's not even a thing. Burden of proof is on the accused, not the accuser. Yeah, that sounds like a fair enough way to put it, right? Now, but there is obviously a bit of a tricky tact here, and this is what I feel like these things pull apart are like common decency to each other or sensibility and common sense, because there are times when someone is dog whistling or, you know, kind of putting the message out there, putting out the feeler and signaling something. And that's a tricky line to tell. And when they're doing that, that's when you need them to like respond. But, you know, if we can have that balance if we're decent and level-headed about it, but that balance just gets ripped out of shape when just disinformation is getting spread around so much. It's crazy. Fran says, "Is she's MAGA? What's the problem?" Well, it's very contentious, isn't it? You know, if she is, so what? Nazism, I think, you know, I think the jury's out on that one, as they say. But either way, it's a wild. The White House is using her music to make edits of arresting immigrants and citizens under ICE. There's a lot of reasons why she's being called a MAGA. Okay. I still always struggle a little bit with like telling other people what to say in that capacity. Like, it's such a tricky thing to deal with. And I find it tricky to say, like, I've got the answer, you should be saying this, you should be doing that. I kind of think it's up to the individual on that one. Okay, but yeah, there's a, you know, these topics, they always go deeper, right? There's always more threads to pull on and stuff. But to me, the big tell was just like how the Discord has been, or the discourse has been manufactured. How it's been shown to have like an origin. Anyway, I'm starting to see now how immediately, like, all I want is just a bit of shared reality and something we can agree on, and already, like, the threads of this are getting pulled left, right, and center. Yo, Puffy the Ghost, thank you for the Prime, and Alex Parkin, thank you for Prime as well. Appreciate it. She's only one of the biggest celebrities who hasn't sent a cease and desist to the government for using her music in those videos. It's a fair point, to be fair. It's a fair point. Right? When you factor that in, maybe the source of this journalist article, it gets pulled into question. But again, oh my god, you know what? I don't know if I've got the energy for this. I just want to put my head in the sand and be like, world, what is wrong with you? But, you know, there might be a turning point. There might be a point where she does put that letter in and then it all changes again, right? The Pixel says, every time I drop in, there's some interesting discussion going on. I love it. I'm glad you love it because, man, this thing just occupies space in my mind, and then I start talking about it and I'm like, oh, wow, it's really complicated. It sounded pretty cut and dry when I learned about it earlier today, and now I'm like, oh, you know, never really is it? But, oh, who knows? Secret tunnel, yeah, we're digging a secret tunnel. Won't take us very long, and then we'll move on to another job. What the secret tunnel for is not a secret. It is a spoiler though. It's for circulating a cow underneath the area so that a baby cow will follow it around on the top. I did a bunch more investigating into pathfinding today, and unfortunately, some of the other ideas that I had, they're not going to manifest because this stuff isn't quite as robust and reliable as you kind of need it to be. So we're going to be quite limited. I had a lot of ideas, and it looks like we're going to be doing this one. I'm also wondering if it's worth putting a beacon over here. I know, actually, I don't have the means to, like, move a beacon around, unfortunately. But getting some instant mine would be cool. But how will the baby cow not grow up? We have the Forever Young data pack now. And that's how we're going to do it. So I'm gonna create like a little hole here that the baby cow can go through, and then it's going to have its own little tunnel to go all the way to the other end. Now that tunnel doesn't have to be big, and it doesn't have to be decorated. I think what we'll do is we'll create some stone bricks for it and some lights every so often, and then hope this works. And then fingers crossed, hope it works. That's the last part. Hope it works. I kind of like the idea of like putting in some, maybe just some glowstone, because I can make lots more of that. How does the Forever Young data pack work? Name tag? Yeah, name tags, clocks, other clever tricks behind the scenes. It does, you know, it's its own thing. So the stone bricks would be at this height, and they would just go around the corner. Oh yeah, that was the other thing I wanted. Mud. I knew I wanted one more thing. Do I have redstone torches in your redstone box as well? I do. I could use that. I could technically put no lights in there and stop stuff from spawning. There's a bunch of different options I could pursue here. Where did I end up putting mud? Mud's now in logs, funny enough. Not the greatest categorization, but it works. Just goes with these bits. Also, let's grab a bundle. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? Apparently I make wonderful background noise for homework. But you know, I'm also the background noise that moans. I'm like, stop. Turn me off. Focus. Focus on your work, young person. This multitasking era we're in, it's terrible for us, I swear. Philistine, thank you so much for subscribing, my dude. Appreciate it. Why are you always streaming every time I'm crying? Do you know I am sad or a lot? I have a you're crying alarm, so when you cry, that's my cue to stream. Don't ask me how I got it. The magician said never tell another soul. Is magician even the right term? there's a better term. The trickster. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up if you haven't figured it out. I'm sorry you're crying though. Like, what's going on? That don't sound good. Sometimes, though, a good cry is healthy. Get stuff off your chest. I'll be going to my granddad's funeral later in the year. And I'm actually, like, I'm hoping I cry, which sounds strange. I feel like I will, but I know I need to. But it's been weird because his death has been very different to that of my grandma's. My grandma's was more sudden, and his was kind of gradual. And I had my time to say goodbye. With my grandma, I didn't. I just landed in New York and found out that she had passed. So I'm like, I'm not sure if I've dealt with it or if there's like grief in there that needs to come out. But the funeral will be the place that happens, right? You know, funerals, I think, will probably make you cry 9 times out of 10 anyway. Especially, well, 10 times out of 10 if it's someone close to you. And I think they are that way because you need that. Hey, that was a good time to check. That was a very good time to check. Alice Fiasco, thank you for your Prime subscription. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thanks for the support, my dude. You actually laughed at your great-grandma's funeral. Grief is weird. Yeah, some cultures have different ways of dealing with stuff as well, right? In some cultures, funerals are like upbeat, happy occasions. Are we in line? I think we're over by 1 and we need to go down by 1. Yeah, down by 1 to here. So that's where the cow is going to come through. And it would be a slab. Let's go and modify that. Try and make it as easy as possible to get into this space. Crying is healthy, and even if you just lost him, I'd wager you have grieving and internalize because of the long sick period. Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. It's just that, like, with my nan, there were lots of moments after of, like, sadness that would come and go. And with my granddad, it hasn't felt like that because it's been coming for a while. I mean, even before he had his stroke, it was sort of like there was slowly less of him, you know, less of a conversation to have with him and stuff because he was just getting old and losing his, like, cognitive abilities, and he was struggling to walk, and it has that kind of dimension to it. Okay, so when we get here, I think we'll try and go like 2 blocks at a time or something. So it's like, you go around the corner, then you go down 2, down another 2, and then you're there. Now, one thing I do want to do is keep this really dark So I'm going to put the light source here. Or not, because I placed the wrong block. There we go. We don't want light coming out of here, basically. And we don't want things spawning. And we kind of want to make it one high as an experiment to see if the baby cow will go through there. Should be able to. It should know it can do that. So it will wander around down here. We want a gap of one there. And then here. And then we're going to go back and replace all of this now. And fill in the ceiling behind us. How's the inventory looking? Actually manageable. Right, I don't know how much space between the glowstone we actually need, but let's pick a random number. It's going to be 13. And then we'll do 13 again. Ah. Uh-oh. I hope there's not more stuff in here. Oh, hello, another one. Break the line of sight. Ah, we got you, we got you. It just comes down to this bit. Alright, we'll leave that there then. You was on a plane trying to see your granddad one more time. Unfortunately, it was too late, but it also wasn't sudden, so the grief was very different. Yeah. Yeah, I'm anticipating the grief will feel different. But hey, maybe the fact that I'm thinking about it says something, you know? You're trying to prepare yourself mentally for stuff. That probably says a lot. Okay, there we go. Let's go put these in. Your great aunt passed away earlier this year, but she had been declining for a while. She was a cool lady, honestly one of the happiest funerals you've been to, because we all know that she wouldn't want us to cry. She would want us to laugh, celebrate, and have fun. That's awesome. I'm glad that you do things that way. I think it's probably better to think in those terms. We got Euroboy Many subscribing. Thank you for subscribing, my dude. Welcome to the stream. We're digging a secret tunnel for a cow. Baby cow, actually. I think we'll go to the end after this. Need to go to the end and repair our tools. Imp and Skiz did a good podcast on Grieve. You watched it a few times. That's great. Their podcast is awesome. Can't recommend it enough. Can't recommend it enough. Loads of great things they have to say on there. Okay, and then it doesn't actually line up because I've done it wrong. It's supposed to be one block higher. I'm actually just going to redo it. Let's redo it. You may have also grown as a person since the last time you grieved. It wasn't that long ago. I have grown. I think you continuously grow through life, you know. But I would say it wasn't that long ago. Okay, so it's actually that height there. And we're going to do the thing again where we like... Dude, did you like spawn in the space behind me? That's crazy. That's crazy. I guess I never filled in bits above either. Let's put in 13. That one goes there. And another 13. In we go, in we go. You got to go to a job interview, you'll be back. Good luck, good luck. All the best. Hope it goes well, man. Getting close to a funeral for the pickaxe. Not the most tasteful of links, but I'll accept it. I doubt you meant anything by it. Just, you know, just time and place. If you're thinking like that, it might be a little offbeat in a different context, you know? Might be a little bit offbeat, that one. Okay, so this bit is... Oh, yeah, we've got to dig the tunnel underneath. We're going to have to repair the pick sooner than later, I think. So that's our little secret tunnel for the baby cow to get around in. Now, I can't remember... I don't think I did this properly with the other one, but the idea was to put some mud in so that you didn't really see where the thing went. Like that. How am I going to get out of here? I'm not sure I do need to get out of here, actually. What's cool is that when we get to this bit, the stone bricks then kind of guide us to where we're going next. So that works in our favor. We got that going for us, you know? That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's time to go repair tools, isn't it? Clearly. Let's go do that. Yo, we're still getting messages from people that are like, secret tunnel? Secret tunnel? What is X up to? It's a secret. That's the problem. You want to know, but it's a secret. Sorry. Can't tell you. Yo, Estellian's here. 85 months, Estellian. Thank you for all you do, my dude. Thanks for another stream. You're most welcome. Thanks for tuning in. X, are you building a secret tunnel for two lovers? Forbidden from one another, and a war divides their people, and a mountain divides them apart. It's not for two lovers. It's for a mother and her child. I feel like the same sentiment fits, though, right? Ah, almost. I hit a slab. Yeah, I like that. You might notice like there's something, or you might not, and then when you go closer, you'll be like, I don't know what that is, but okay. By the way, it was never part of the plan for those two things to actually have functionality. I love that they have functionality now. That's cool. Gamlin says, God, I love mud. I like the way I added a little voice to that. Let's check on our golems. Let's use cheaty free cam. Every now and then I use cheaty free cam. Actually, I kind of feel like we didn't need to do that. We didn't need to do that. I just need to walk around and figure out where the other one went, because I think it's missing from this area over here. Yeah, maybe I will use cheaty free cam. Like, a golem has gone missing and I don't know where. Like, I don't have a clue where it went. I might even use a bit of F3 and B. Because one wandered from this field to that one, but the other one is completely gone. Is it hidden in the cows? I lost a llama, by the way. Two wandered in and the other one disappeared. Like, where did that other golem go? Is it up on a hill? Why does your... Wait. That guy was waxed. Twice. Twice. Twice, I tell you. Twice I had to do this. Right? I came over here with my honeycomb, set him up, waxed it. Later on, it turned into a statue around here. I was like, that's really odd because I waxed it, right? So I went and did it again, picked up the statue, put the honeycomb on it. It's wandered up to the hill. I don't get it. I don't get it. Oh, do not do that. Do not do that. Stay in survival. In fact, I don't need this right now. What was I trying to do? I was trying to do something with the buttons. F3B, that was the one. Got the wrong reflex there. Right, so, I think I'll just leave you there for now and come back to that later. I'm going to make a note. because that's a comical thing to come back to. Yeah, that it's happened twice now that I've waxed the golem and it's still turned into a statue. Someone's trolling. Oh, it could be someone comes past and just... Yeah, that could be it. That's a pretty good explanation, actually. You see it and you just... Oh, when I hold down shift, it changes the view in the bundle. That's probably related to a different mod. This one? Is there something related to bundles here? No mention of bundles, though. I would have thought it would have been this one. Maybe it's not an option. Anyway. Or maybe it's related to the other one. This one? On, off. There's no thing about holding down shift. Very curious. Peak. Ah. I'm not sure what I use peak for anymore. I used to use it for something, and then I just left it on. Good point. Peak might do this. That's nice that it does it with colour, though. Empty container. Well, these are all set to no. They're all set to no. Huh, maybe not. I don't know then. I don't know what does that. By the way, I've done literally no more redstone since yesterday. After my live stream, played a little guitar, and then that was it for the day. So I've done nothing. Absolutely nothing. Right, we're going to need more foods. God, I love the bundle, right? God, I love the bundle. Then a trip to the end dimension. Love that. That's good. Torches might be another one. I tend to keep torches on me. Torches might be worth doing something with that. Because you tend to want quite a few. If you're going to a place where you need torches, it probably means you're in a cave and now you need a bunch. What does that bundle mod you have do? It removes that vanilla limit that you have for items that you can see. And it lets you see more items. So if you've got lots of items in the bundle, you can see all of them. Which I think is pretty cool. The vanilla limit isn't too harsh either. I think that right there is the vanilla limit. If you put one more in, you get a little icon. It's not too harsh. How long have I been live? 33 minutes. Split screen, imp video, and X stream is not for the weak. Guys, please, I'm serious. Stop multitasking. I cannot tell you how bad this is for your brain. This is just not the way to live life. I'm so serious. I do it myself, and I've been doing it for a long time, and I'm constantly trying to push myself back from doing it because I notice again and again. Diney Drew says, I really like your sense of humor. Yo, I'm being serious right now, though. I'm being serious. Like, splitting up your attention is not a great thing. It really isn't. This will have consequences. They're hard to see because when you're young, your brain's sharp. But, like, you start getting older and your cognitive load, it's not as good. And you start to see what's happening. You start multitasking and you're doing everything half-assed. And when I say half, we're doing it... If you're doing two things at the same time, you're doing them quarter-assed, not half-assed. The only multitasking I can legitimately do is, like, chores and listening to someone talk, or music and doing another activity. Those are the only two times when my brain pretty much, like, handles two things relatively well. If I'm playing Minecraft and I'm watching a Minecraft video, you know, Etho's talking about his storage system or something, I don't know what's going on, really. I might think I do, but then I can't. It's kind of like when you listen to a podcast about quantum mechanics and you're like, oh, I'm so smart, I understand quantum mechanics. And then you try and explain it to someone and you're like, no, I'm an absolute idiot. What am I thinking? Why did I think I understood quantum mechanics? I don't know nothing. It's like that. It's just like that. You got to trust X on this one. Avoid the multitasking. You'll thank me one day. It's giving us brain rot. I'm getting people disagreeing with me in the chat. I'm going to die on this hill. I'm going to die on this hill. I can't remember if I said thank you to Snocky for coming in with the 20 months and the Prime. Appreciate it, my dude. Thank you for the support. Multitasking is not paying attention to two things. You are literally only actually paying attention to one thing at a time, unless they're like anything music plus studying. Active plus an unactive task. Yeah, yeah. And as you switch back and forth between the two things, you're just wasting energy and you're wasting your focus on those two things. Yeah, so the Nick says multitasking is context switching, and the context switching comes with a price, which is like, you're not going to understand this thing as much, right? So true, just drop baked beans down my front because I'm listening to the stream. Coordination issues. Oh, that's funny. Every task takes cognition to a certain degree, says Aka Virien. Yeah, you can probably make the argument that listening to something will distract you as well. Like, I imagine listening to some like highly energetic hip hop with lots of lyrics and stuff might not be the same as listening to some ambient music when you're studying. But for me, I've always said I have two brains when it comes to music. There's just like this channel for absorbing music that doesn't seem to get in the way of other stuff for me. But you know, probably in a session of hard study, I wouldn't be listening to hip hop and lyrics. But the reason I'm telling you this is because I care and I've been living through it, right? I'm old. I've seen things change. And when you see things change, you realize that, you know, when you're young, you're in the moment and everything, like when you're young, you feel immortal. It's like, who are these old people telling me what to do? But then the years go by, things change around you. And you wanna pass that on to young people. You wanna tell them of the ills that you've seen. Like, what about this social media ban, right, out in Australia? I bet everyone's got opinions on that. I am like all for it. I think it's great that they're doing it because we need to start somewhere. And I totally empathize with kids who feel like they're missing out or it's unfair or whatever. I totally get that. It will probably seem harsh to them, but this is one of those things. I've lived through seeing no social media. I saw the internet in the early days. Online communities would form, and then we saw them got sort of like conglomerized a bit more into MySpace. Then it migrated to Facebook, and then you see Twitter come along, and you see all this stuff, like thing after thing after thing, and it all seems to line up with these problems we're having in society, these trends that we're seeing. And like, do I want a social media ban to make teenagers' lives miserable? No. I like, the reason I think a social media ban is a good start is because we don't know what we're doing, right? We've unleashed this beast and we don't know what the right amount of it is. And if we're going to start figuring stuff out, we have to make changes. And I think a ban is better than doing nothing. Big time. So I feel for kids, if you feel like you're missing out, you are. Like, you've had something taken away from you, but we've grown through this. We've seen the downsides, and they're big and they're scary, and they feel like they're ripping the fabric of our society apart, and they feel like they're ripping our attention spans, they're rewiring our brains. We're seeing so many negative externalities from this stuff. And we care, people. We care about you. Alright, I'm going to stop waffling and start reading. Approve it. Social media has impacted everyone's mental health in ways we don't know yet. Yeah, like it's still unfolding, right? It's really new. This is the thing. Technology moves so fast. You'll be losing fans in Australia then. Well, I'll be losing them because YouTube has been classified as a social media platform, so that's less people watching. But yeah, I mean, if you disagree with me, if you're in Australia watching over a VPN or something, like, if that's how you feel, go for it. But I'm not ill-informed on this opinion. I'm not a knee-jerk reactionist. This is a concern that I have been following and invested in for years of thinking about this stuff and seeing it. And it's like, this feels like one of those first steps that could be in the right direction. You're an Australian, says Flern. Yeah, we're talking about the social media ban. And if you don't miss out, none of your friends are allowed to. Yeah, there was concerns about kids feeling like they're missing out, but because it's a universal ban, it's like you kids can go to like playing outside. There's a lot of information that suggests that they call it free play, right? That like sort of playing out in the world as kids and like getting into trouble and hurting yourself, like it's part of learning. It's part of like building a robust mentality. It's like how you become an adult or whatever. And like a lot of this online behavior shelters us from that, and we need a little bit of that, you know. Breen in Meow, thank you for the Prime subscription. Appreciate you, my dude. Thanks for supporting the channel. Playing outside, there are spiders there. I mean, playing outside in Australia is a little different from other places, right? Yeah. As for YouTube, teenagers and young people can still use YouTube. They cannot create accounts, therefore cannot comment on videos, increasing the risk of interacting with suspicious people online. Yeah. Interesting. Good book about this, The Anxious Generation. Yeah, that's the book that's become like the spearhead for all of this stuff, right? Trust me, it's worth it. When you get older, you won't regret it, says Freya. Yeah. I'm looking for like the contradictory opinion in my chat right now. What is the social media ban for Twitch? Will you need an account? I don't know. I don't know what it means for Twitch, actually. That's a good question. You still think it should be more the parents' responsibility to monitor their kids instead of the government, says Kaya Moore. If that opinion is coming from a principle, I would disagree. If it's coming from an assessment of the situation, I would perhaps go fair enough, right? Even though I disagree. There's a lot of like these ideas of sort of absolute freedom out there and like no government intervention. The government shouldn't tell you what to do, right? But then we forget about all the horror stories of letting, you know, people do whatever. And so a lot of like laws that already exist, there's already a lot of the government and the law and the institution telling you what you can and can't do. They just become social norms, and we forget that these social norms are like contracts that are in place hopefully for the benefit of us, right? Sometimes that stuff gets a little dicey and corrupt, and we think maybe some of these laws are to serve other people or other interests, but the idea hopefully is that they are serving the public good. And so when we unleash something like social media into society and it has negative consequences that clearly parents at a large scale, individual parents here and there might be doing a good job with the social media and their kids, but at a large scale, it is causing a problem that is not being addressed. So that's when I think you need law and legislation to step in. And I think it's always one of these messy kind of situations where there's no principle to it. There's no like harsh boundary on the government, you know, should or shouldn't tell you what to do. It just kind of depends on the situation each and every time, is how it feels to me. And so with the social media thing, having followed this and lived through it, I really come out on the side of like, we have to start doing stuff. We have to start regulating. We have to, you know, change these things because they're so detrimental to society. They're tearing apart our Discord, they're polarizing us, and it doesn't feel like talking about that. People aren't coming to their common senses and getting off of it. Absolute freedom would lead to chaos. I like that bit. Just look at the Purge movies. Not sure that's the best example. I mean, it's a movie. A pretty crass one, but fair enough. Ixie Pixie, thank you for subscribing. The Earl of 87, thank you for 9 months. Twitch, baby, let's play the animation. Social media has been around for so long that it is the parents who grew up with it. Lessons by my generation have to be used to help the next. Yeah, you're right. However, when you say it's been around for so long, like, it depends on what timescale we're talking about, because I feel like it hasn't been around that long and it's been this detrimental so fast. It's like with technology, we've introduced a pace of innovation that has a massive impact on society, and we can't iterate on it quick enough. We can't respond to it quick enough. If technology moves slower, if we were still in the MySpace days, we might have a better chance at like reacting and studying to the thing as it evolves. But this stuff is going so quickly that we can barely react to it. And of course, we're barreling into a new era with AI as well, and AI flooding the information with, the internet with its own information and stuff. It's scary times, and that's why I'm so in favor of this ban, is because it is a form of action that we need to take. It seems sudden, it seems drastic, but like, dang, I feel like that's what we need. Like, these things have been terrible. Terrible. The big tech companies won't change their algos to empathy and connection instead of engagement and outrage. We don't need to expose kids to that. Yep, they have had time to learn about this, know about it, and change their course, and they have not. And yeah, we're exposing our kids to it. Ultimately, for a complete ban for under 16s works a whole lot better than having parents individually monitor their kids. If it's not banned, kids are just going to find their way around to access it behind parents' backs. Well, that is also true of if it is banned. They will still find their way around, but you're making the barrier of entry harder. So it's not that you like, yes, they can make their way around it, but it will just be, they'll start using VPNs. The government figures out which VPNs to block. Like, you'll have this sort of back and forth where it'll just get harder and harder, and they'll give up. There's also these arguments, right? I've heard these arguments, and you can imagine them applied to other conversations where people say, like, now it's a slippery slope. They'll turn to, you know, dark, unmoderated places. And I hear those arguments a lot. They're always recurring, and I feel like often they're kind of like arguments you apply when it suits your position, because it's kind of true of anything we do. Everything can push you in a different direction, but will it? And I think undoubtedly some kids are going to end up, you know, going to terrible places online as a result, but probably not en masse, probably a small amount, and we should do what we can to stop that from happening. But I don't think it will be like a disaster, you know. And so some of these arguments come along that try and make bad of the situation and the change, but I don't think they're actually that proportional. You worry that restrictions like this could set a new precedent. This is one of them that lets the government peek more into our personal lives as the right to. I don't think this is a 1984 situation, but I fear any potential move in that direction. That argument comes up so much, JMac, right? And I think that the point is to always be individual about that. Oh, did someone sleep the night away? Because, like you said, in this instance, it doesn't look like it, but that's one of those recurring arguments. It's like we try and do something to help a situation that we've created, and then you have, you know, 1984 comes up, and it's like, well, we've got to do something, right? You know. Apparently, I'm turning into B-dubs. What is that? I'm turning into B-dubs? Oh, with the sleeping. Pro is giving a speech over here. I'm on one today. I'm on one. Like, ideas build up in my head, and then I let them off when I stream. You didn't hear the rest of my response. JMac, I was basically saying that your 1984 point, it's one of those ones again, like, I feel like people bring up ideas like that as if it's like a hard line of logic, whereas actually I think it's much more situational, because we have to have a give and take with, you know, we can't just have infinite freedom to do whatever. We do need restrictions and agreed norms, laws, etc. But we gotta deal with those, I think, individually, and not characterize them as being 1984 each time, because then we might not end up doing anything. And as you said, with this one, you feel like this isn't 1984, but yeah, if someone brings that argument up about the banning social media stuff, to me, it's like, look at how bad it is for our society, though. Like, we've got to do something. The next generation of kids will be really tech literate, which is good for the way the world is developing, I guess. Yeah, but we need those kids to get in power, right? We have a bit of a problem at the moment, I think, where, do they call it like a gerontocracy or something, where basically you have a generation of people in power, and there's like a disproportionate representation, and therefore there'll be a disproportionate representation of their interests and what they understand. Like, that generation doesn't understand social media the way mine does, and my generation won't understand it the way the next generation will. We kind of need younger people in power, I think. Bunch of 70-year-olds, says Hackerbass. Yeah, if you look at it, if you look at the structure of the American government, there are a lot of very old politicians, and the structure of the political system just keeps those older generations in power. And that's difficult when we need to address the problems of today that affect young people. They're not affecting the politicians that are making these decisions, right? Jacob Peachy, thank you for the Prime. We got another JT for 102 months. Legendary, my dude. Alien Sardonyx coming in with a subscription. Leo82 here with the Prime as well. Thank you so much, people. Appreciate your support. We have a problem where kids are getting stuck behind a screen and are not going out of the house to experience life. Kids need to be kids. We're talking about 16-year-olds and younger. I couldn't agree more. They absolutely need that outdoors time. I don't think, you know, at a certain age you become an adult, you get to make your own decisions. I believe, you know, there's a time and place for you doing exactly what you want to, but when you're young, we've got to make sure, you know, your development as a person is decent. We owe that to you. Maybe like a system in Switzerland where the people are asked to vote for some things. There's so many different ways you could change the political systems. I don't think I could really go into that. There's so many options, things that have been tried, things that haven't, things that people critique, things that people agree on. Who knows? Like it's a whole can of worms to discuss how to change it. But I'm just pointing out that you clearly have a generation of people in charge, and they do not experience life in their country the way young people do. The interests are not aligned. The problem is there's not a lot of outside at all. It's all stores and streets and hardly any parks and areas of nature, says Blue Jay. I think that depends on where you live, right? Like, every town and city is different. Some have more parks, some don't. In urbanization, there are movements to bring about more parks in cities and stuff, but that's not always uniform across the country. But there's been a trend of reclaiming urban spaces where they take roads through high streets and turn them into plazas. You know, so like some of that's shifting in a different direction, but who knows? Like, we're getting into crazy statistics there, right? At least in my eyes, this ban is pretty good, and this is my reasoning. Kids will not get access to graphic content sites if you were born between 98 and 2006. You probably remember a classmate calling you and showing you something disgusting. Children are not going to pick up bad habits, such as far-right, left-right activists that go way too far with their opinions. They get a reason to go outside and play in the dirt massively and boost their immune system. I'm running out of characters. I like everything you said there. Perhaps with the political stuff I'd use my language a little different, but yeah, online tends to foster extreme opinions. So from one perspective or another emerges the extreme opinion of that, and exposing them to those extreme opinions at a young age, probably not a great idea, right? I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. Let kids be kids. And yeah, let them... by the way, on the graphic content thing, right, I am part... Like you said, between 98 and whatever. I'm older than that, right? I saw absolutely god-awful, horrendous things on the internet growing up. Like, I will not even utter what they were to you. For some reason, kids in school would share the worst sites. These sites that would share just the worst stuff, right? Like, that was... It was like that was... the purpose of the website was like, here's something awful, look at it. Incredibly morbid stuff. And I had a morbid curiosity, and like it would turn your stomach to look at some of this stuff, but for some reason it was like crazy and wild, and you'd go on it. And I never got like hardcore with it or anything, but dang, I would look at these sites and see just utterly foul stuff. And my stomach for that didn't last very long, fortunately, but of course, some of the stuff you'd see on these websites would haunt you. And it's always in the back of my mind that that's probably even easier for kids to access today than it was, because you got the smartphone in your pocket, you know? I used to have the shared family computer, and when no one else was in the house, you and your mates might go and look at these websites and just see some terrible stuff. And, God, they give you brain damage, whether you like it or not. You know, you see stuff you can't unsee, that sticks with you. Grew up with some brutal videos going about at school, even before social media. Yes, before social media, the videos got shared. I didn't see the videos as much. That's one thing I remember. It was usually picture websites. But I remember a point where I got really turned off by that stuff. And it was when my mate was watching a video of someone getting beheaded. And I was just like, I can't do this anymore. This is mental. Like, and I stopped going on those sorts of websites after that. But yeah, I remember that moment so clearly. Yeah, beheaded. I mean, like, there is worse. I know it sounds crazy. There is worse than beheadings on the internet. But, like, that was a video that my mate was watching. And I think it was also observing their behavior. Because I wasn't interested in it. I had a moment to see someone else watching it. And then it was like, oh, this is not good. Like, we don't need to see this. You tried to avoid those terms in my message, says Plop. Well, I was going for the lighter end of the spectrum, let's say. The internet's got dark stuff on it, people. And we want to protect our kids from that. Oh, it feels like this thing goes on forever. And yes, Zelda points out that it's easy to find this stuff. Like, if you're out there, if you're listening, you're morbidly curious, right? Just listen to me when I say this. Like, it doesn't matter what you think of it right now. It'll put a toll on your soul. This stuff is heavy and it will hurt. And if that convinces you not to go looking for it, I'm happy, because you don't want to see this stuff on the internet. You might think it's cool or funny or edgy or whatever. Like, that's some of the stuff that just appeals to you when you're young. It hurts. That stuff hurts to see. It's the sort of thing that still flashes in my brain many years later, says Burt Potato. Same here, my dude. Same here. God, we're like old school internet people that have been traumatized, right? That's it. It just, every now and then it pops into your head and you're just like, why did I have to see that? Your brain holds on to those things because they're so extreme and it just can't process them. But yeah, that stuff's out there. We want to shield kids from that, right? And a social media ban will help with that. Like, I think it's also about just getting them off screens, right? Get them away from the screens. I mean, Brux, yeah, but like, I don't even want to mention it. I don't want to give anyone any ideas of where to go, you know? It's just not worth it, is what I'm saying. It's not knowing where these places are. They're not worth looking at. If you're driving and you see an accident, eyes forward, the phrase "you can't unsee that" exists for a reason. Yep. I thought you were going to mention the term rubbernecking, which is where there's a crash and people will like turn to look, and so traffic slows down. But no, yeah, also you can't unsee what you're about to look at. Very true. You're currently pregnant, due in late February, and there's so much that I'm hoping I'll be able to do for my kid, but there's so many uncertainties too. I mean, the fact that you want to do well for your kid, and you're part of this discussion, that's what we want. Parents that are plugged in and are thinking about this stuff. If you're thinking about it, like, to me, that's a sign you're on the right track. What worries me is, like, the parents that don't care, you know? The parents that, like, there's a social media ban, they just don't care about it, right? Maybe they use it themselves and don't think there's any problem with it. That concerns me. If you're concerned, you know, you'll think about it, you'll make great decisions, I'm sure. Right, so, as you can see, we're 3 high all the way through here. I think I want to make my tunnel 3 high wherever it goes. And that means lowering it, because this is the actual ceiling here. I think I want to lower it all one more block, basically. Let's go ahead and do that. Oh yeah, that means rebuilding this floor then, I guess. Rebuild we shall. I'm going to drink a little bit of water. I feel like I need to hydrate, people. You use Google's child restrictions. That helps a lot in controlling screen time, what they can and can't see, says Classical Penguin. That's a good thing, yeah. You just made me think, like, I use the safe filters on like, Google when you, like, search for stuff, because I just don't want to see anything anymore. I've had enough of it, you know? Safe searches, Chief Guppy. Yeah, if you go to Google and do a search, there's an option for, like, which mode you're in. And you can put it on, like, moderate, unfiltered, or safe. I just put it in safe. I got no business with any other stuff online, you know. Citrus Guitar, thank you for subscribing. Appreciate it, my dude. Thank you for the support. When you was a kid, you had a friend that had a movie about horrible deaths and possible horrible deaths, and it was so gory. I know what that's called. There's like 4 or 5 of them. I know exactly what those ones are. Those are kind of like the just before the internet circulation of this material, because before the internet, like, we think of the internet as like being the origin of some of this stuff, but remember, technology was shifting and it was easier to create like your own VHS tapes and share them. And yeah, those movies, I didn't actually watch those, but all my mates did. I never seemed to be around when those ones got put on, but I know what ones you're on about. Really, I find parent control so lacking. All of them are so bad. They either lock everything down to the point of uselessness or do nothing. Yeah, I guess having a critique on how effective they are is something too to point out. I mean, I remember YouTube through some of its scandals with like those Spider-Man Esmeralda videos or whatever. Like, there was horrendous stuff visible to kids. Just complete brain rot nonsense with like some very odd undertones, and yeah, that stuff's gone, right? I hope. I've never seen it on YouTube Kids again, but even then, some stuff on YouTube Kids is a little bit like, this is weird, but like not as terrible as that stuff. That's another example of the pendulum effect. Someone's parents are too strict, so their kids become too lax as parents. Yes. Yeah, there's that. The give and take. I think that's an example of how a lot of stuff in life will ebb and flow. Swing this way and then swing back. Education is what's needed, not adequate. Social media scams that others should be taught in school. Yeah, I'm actually a big proponent of that as a solution as well. Like, robust education. And I think maybe that there's 2 problems with that. One is that our education is probably underfunded, but the other thing is that kids, when you're that age, it's very easy to not be interested in school and education. Very easy. If we could better educate people, I feel like better educated, more freedom. Is kind of like a vibe that I like. I like this idea, not of banning stuff, but like letting people be educated about it. Because I genuinely believe that people are decent and that we're all trying to get through our lives, and there's only a very small amount that genuinely want to do harm to others, and when they do, it tends to look like it comes from trauma and stuff they've experienced. So my feeling with a lot of stuff is like, if we can just educate people, they can make their own decisions, and I can't help but feel with like the right education, those decisions will probably align in the right direction. That might be a bit of wishful thinking, but that's kind of how I feel about people and subject matter and stuff. Manix is good luck. I've won 10 chess games in a row, tying me at my all-time record set back in like 2020. And to think, if you weren't watching, more brain power would be diverted to the chest. to the chess. I'm joking, I'm joking. Congrats on the wins, man. Chess is awesome, I love it. I got into playing a little bit in 2020. And I would probably enjoy continuing to play, mainly doing chess puzzles, but I can see how much of like a rabbit hole it is as well. You just, there's so much depth to that game that you would just like endlessly be obsessed with it. So I was like, after a while, I was like, you know what, I've had my fix, this is fun, but I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. You can never get your head around chess. In what way? Like, you don't see what's cool about it, or it's just too difficult of a game, or what? So this is 5 wide here, and then we go to 3 wide. I think I'm going to make it like 5 wide all the way around and just give myself lots of space to work with. So I guess we're doing more diggy hole down here. Yo, Icy Poor Lover, thank you for 2 months, my dude. How long till we get Copper Xisuma? I was thinking of changing it in the episode after next. Because I'm kind of nearing the end of the Copper arc already, I think. Kind of already getting along there, you know. And we'll continue doing Copper related things throughout the season, but I think like that theme has sort of run its conclusion for now. That's once I do the last few bits and bobs with it, of course. Turns into an iron golem. Yeah, I sometimes I say iron golem when I'm talking about the copper golems, because that's how my brain works, you know. Sometimes I say that. Will we get Nautilus soon? But I don't plan on it. I don't plan on doing much with the Mounts of Mayhem. What I do want to do with it, with that drop, is just like goof around and experiment. I think that'll be fun. Just get some spears, get some of the various things they've added, and just kind of mess around. Like, no real aim, but sometimes you discover stuff just by messing around, right? And that's fun. Oh wait, am I digging away too much here? Because it's only this tall. It's only that tall. Sometimes X waddles his merds, says Burt Potato. I saw what you did there. I saw what you did. Cheeky devil. Ah, that'll get rid of our light sources, but that's okay. I'm starting to wonder, have I actually got the height of this thing correct? Yeah, no, I have. I haven't like made some slip up going around the corner. It's all good. It's all good. Hey, Xisuma. Also, when I was a younger adult, adults tried protecting me from the internet. Now I'm the one protecting. Ironic, no? It's just how it goes, isn't it? When you're young, you don't want to listen. Then you get older and you're like, now I understand. Now I understand. Yo, Bucky Bills, thank you for the prime. Appreciate it, my dude. Appreciate it. Another thing that I think is particularly harsh about the social media stuff is that, like, the most vulnerable people are the people that, you know, are going to be targeted. And it's obviously very popular with young people, social media, but they're also, like, the most vulnerable, right? It's crazy. You meant protecting the older adults now. That protected you before. Oh, you mean it like, well, I'm glad it protected you. That's good. That's good. Right? Let's keep bringing this thing across. Especially from the scams, yeah. There's a lot of scamming online. And people fall for it. What really irks me is a lot of the crypto stuff, like just coins getting launched and people, like influencers ripping off their own audience to make a quick buck. Terrible stuff. Terrible stuff. The thing is, history will be the judge of those people. That might not be helpful, but it's kind of how it goes, right? Like, there's this term about, like, revising history. But it's sort of what you will naturally revise history, because we don't look back in slavery and go, that was all right. We revise our understanding of it. So when people in the future aren't invested in the people of today, when you don't care about that celebrity and their coin that they've launched. Like, you will just look at these situations and things with such different eyes. And so when the people of the future judge us of today, they're probably not going to fall for the same BS that we fall for. Because they're not invested in it, right? They're going to be looking back at politicians and figures, popular people, and they're not going to be attached to them in any way. Or maybe mildly attached, but you know what I mean. Didn't know I had a TikTok account, but you just popped up on the live feed. Yeah, man, I'm on TikTok. We're posting TikToks on the daily. It's kind of weird because I hate TikTok. I'm just doing that good YouTuber thing of like, oh, well, you know, put something out on that platform, bring people over, hopefully get your numbers up. But, oh, the numbers game, eh? The numbers game. Gotta have some numbers on my screen. Forget real connections with other people. I need numbers, people. I need you to tune in so I've got a statistic to look at to make me feel good. You know what I mean? X is cloud chasing confirmed. Is there pressure for you to be on TikTok? Yeah, kind of, I guess. Like, I really don't have an appetite for making shorts or making that kind of content, but because TikTok is such like a low effort platform, well, you know, it can be high effort too, but it really is a sort of like, how can I keep you interested for 10 seconds or whatever, you know, 30 seconds. I don't know what the attention span is at this day. I hear it's still falling down. It's rolling off a cliff slowly. It's like I can kind of automate that. I can have someone else do that and take clips from these streams and other places and just put them on TikTok. So it'll feed back, you know, into here. But then I'm hoping it has a positive impact of like, all right, you find me on there, but then you come and listen to these waffles and maybe learn something or get some good advice, hopefully, right? Like, I'm hoping it comes back around that way. Because I'm not over here going like, hey, yeah, TikTok's great, thanks for following me. I'm like, hey, man, get off that platform. Get off it, it'll ruin your attention span. It's a drug. Stop using it. You know? I'm the guy on TikTok saying TikTok sucks. And if the arrangement I have forever, like, ever changes, I'm probably not going to bother, like, getting it going again. It's just... this season of Hermitcraft has really helped me get over the last hang-ups of being a YouTuber and having numbers shoved in your face. Like, oh, your video's 10 out of 10. Thanks, YouTube. You know, I'm over it. I'm over it now. Hermitcraft's incredible. Just enjoying the time, making content with our fellow creators here and having a blast, you know? We've hit the lottery over here, right? Screw YouTube and their number games. I'm just not into it anymore. I'm going to make the content I want to make. With my time and enjoy my time. Because I now believe that happiness is enjoying the passage of time. It's not just that thing. There's more things to happiness, of course, but that's an important part of it, I think. It's just to be enjoying your time. And so, like, do I enjoy making videos and live streaming? Absolutely. I don't enjoy chasing numbers on YouTube. I don't enjoy YouTube telling me my video's 10 out of 10. So this season I've been like, well, I'm just going to make the video I really want to make and see what it does. And when I read my comments and when I get the video out there, it feels good because people enjoy it for what it is. I don't care about like the views and the numbers that YouTube throws at me. Yo, Grimspawn, thank you for subscribing. And we had Angry K9 here, the legendary, the one, the only, 128 months. That is 2 full stacks of subscriptions. Thank you so much, my dude. Appreciate it, and thanks for your continued support over the years. Getting hung up on numbers made me hate the hobby I was passionate for because it wasn't good enough, because my numbers didn't go up, and I stopped making it art for literal years because of it. Hey man, get back into it. Forget the numbers. Forget the numbers. But yeah, totally relatable. Totally relatable as one content creator to an artist, maybe. You know, content creators got a bit of like a vapid corporatism to it, but you know what I mean. There's one to another. Yeah, the numbers suck, right? You stop sharing what you do and it helps. That's interesting. Yeah, like we are in a chronic share everything environment. Another thing about like the TikTok is just that it can create this like sense of wanting to share everything you do, right? And is that a great thing? Do we have to share everything we do in this life? I'm not sure that we do, you know? Sharing is caring. Yeah. I imagine a new oblivious creator. Wow, all my new videos are awesome. 10 out of 10s. Yeah. Ignorance is bliss, right? I welcome that level of ignorance. That's a good ignorance. Right, I'm gonna start to look at how the tunnel that we're building sort of lines up with what's above. That feels about right. I think maybe even a little bit wider. Then we're gonna come across to about here, and probably should do a bit more of that diagonal. We might get a little too close to some of our other contraptions at some point, because there is other stuff in the area, like the carpets, for example. So then here we're kind of turning a corner. I think we'll take this bit. And that one. Inventory full! Bundle to the rescue. Got a 1, got a 1, got a 14, got a 2, although we're about to pick up more out. Got a 3, got a 15, got an 18. Let's take out that 2. Put in the 20. No, can't quite get all of that. Anyway, that's a little bit better, innit? Innit, bruv? So, I don't have an exact idea of numbers here, but just going to fill that in. So we're still 5 wide, and then we want to be 5 wide here, which we are. Just did that with the wrong type, didn't I? And continue on down here. What's the tunnel for? It's for taking a baby cow. Sorry, an adult cow around the place. Hey, wait a minute. We're in a too high space again. Oh, look. I forgot. I got to lower it. I got to lower it. It's crazy how long it takes to do something like this. Just crazy. I think I'm going to have to go drop this stuff off, especially if I'm doing more digging. And I'm getting cobble again. And we're getting more of that. Yeah, it's time for a drop-off, isn't it? Why not use a ghast? Use a ghast for what? That's such a strange suggestion. Why not use a ghast? Ghast for what? You need to get your beacon? Yeah, I couldn't be bothered. I don't really have the iron for another beacon base. Yo, 4Gil, thank you for 68 months. Shares. Share some Christmas cookies with chat. Ah, Christmas cookies. How nice. Yeah, this is a creepy song right here. And then I have one for gravel at long last. God, I really should have got this finished, right? Because it's funny how, like, you know, you need to use it straight away, but then again, whatever. Like, I'm going to use it all season long, right? The reason I need to use it straight away is because you'll always need to use it. Oops. Oh, what? Gonna need another one of these. I do have a shulker box down there. That's full of stuff. Probably just put out another chest now. Dang, this is a creepy song. Problem solved. You know what? You never get enough time to do stuff. I wanted to build a farm. I wanted to finish that. We're not even gonna get its tunnel finished at this rate, are we? Have you heard about the news of In-N-Out banning order number 67 because customers eventually have been harassing workers to say it? Oh, something like that happens every so often, doesn't it? And then you got to do something about it, so they ban it because you can't just expect people to figure out, oh, this is probably naff for employees. Sounds like such a typical story. Yeah, I noticed my nephew and niece are growing a little bit tired of it. Like, they still do it, but it's like a bit more... It's not as funny to them now, and I'm wondering like when it'll die out. It'll die out. It'll die out, you know it will. A little bit further over than I want to be there, actually. And then we're out. Okay, so we're 5 all the way down here. Pretty sure it's already dying out. Yeah, maybe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, like, start there, I guess? Yep, that brings that nicely in line. This feels a little narrow, actually, here. Let's check how we did it last time we went round the corner. It was kind of like... Oh, wow. There's a difference of 1, 2, 3. And then you start... No, 4, maybe? Wait, this is 4 wide. Huh. Are we going... Where are we going to be here? No, we're in the right place. Okay. This is all one big experiment that could fail as well. It's all one big experiment. 6, 7 makes you giggle. Hey, if you get a laugh out of it, what's the harm? And what cracks me up about it is that my nephew and niece love it. Like, it's fun because they like it, right? It's nice that they have something to have a little bit of fun with. Okay, so let's go count that thing again. Because that's 5 wide, but here it's like... let's go there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we go from 5 to 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8. As far back as that. And now we just pray this doesn't mess with anything above. Which it shouldn't do, because we're low enough down, right? I would hope. What's this about? Looks like an old cave. We'll go ahead and put in a layer of stuff in here. Oh, it's that old cave. It's that old cave, right. Okay, so we've got that going for us. Then we're back to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that all gets filled in. Then we're turning a corner again somewhere here. Just check the angle. I think we definitely want to get like to about there and then bring it across. Oh, and then it lines up with all of that. Perfect. Okay, so then from here we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's kind of close to the very last of it now. We've sort of put in the blueprint of the whole thing and we can just grind out the last bit. Nice. Nice. Q Padam has subscribed. Q Padam, thank you for subscribing, my dude. Appreciate the support. Enderdan says he said 6, 7. I said it. I said it. Deal with it. Deal with it, people. You do TikTok lives with your roommates, and people say it all the time. Fair enough. Right, extra torch in here. Then digging out this bit, I think. No, we're working our way back, so it's there, but it cuts off. Right, that's looking pretty trim. Let's go down here. Well, very nearly done with this project, my friends. Very nearly. Where does the tunnel lead? Around in a circle. It leads to itself. I think I could call it there, though. I don't want to do any more of this project right now. Like, we got that much done. That's good. We'll leave it. Can we just bring back 420 Blaze It and 360 no scopes? Oh, God. First time in the stream. Hi. Welcome, Obsidian Nobody. We're digging a secret tunnel. Who would have thought, who would have knew? Slim Shady would have been something you would have brought. You think the internet needs to permanently rewind to 2015? Even then, people were saying you should rewind it to 2005. It's always like that, right? Have I seen Atlas, Secret Long Tunnel Song? No, I haven't. The music playing in the soundtrack for other MC games. Yeah, it's Minecraft Dungeons soundtrack. I like soundtrack music like this. It's good fun. All right, we're done. We're out of the hole. Let's go back into a different hole. You know? Modems should be restricted to 14 kilobytes per second again. That way no one can download video. Dude, I don't even remember when they were that slow. I think my first dial-up was 56k. And I remember me and my friends in school used to talk about like the new speeds. Like all of a sudden cable came around and you could get 128 and then it went up to like 256. I'm rocking like a gigabyte connection now. It's mental. It just keeps getting faster, you know? Luek5566, thank you for your Prime subscription, my dude. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hope you enjoy the stream we're doing here today. What we're going to do next is very straightforward, very simple, because we absolutely need to do it. Let's go ahead and use some of the XP here to repair our tools. We are going to hook up the shulker box unloader stuff next. You initially had a 56k and your work still has a 28k modem for years. Yeah, a lot of old work systems and stuff, they've got like computers that run on Cobalt and use old infrastructure and whatnot. To 2400 bulb generation. I remember seeing those connections on like my Command and Conquer games. You go to like the what was that thing called where you could connect two computers together? I think it was called a something modem. I want to say bulbs, but that's the word I just read. Null modem. And I didn't know what a null modem was for ages, and eventually I found that it is a cable that connects two computers together, and they call it null because it kind of like, it acts like it's a modem, but you're not connecting to the internet, you're just connecting to another computer. And when I found that, I like hooked them up and started playing Command and Conquer, like computer to computer with a friend, and it was like, whoa, that's what the null modem is. This is amazing. It's so cool. Who's online now? These wonderful people are online. I didn't ever set my status of streaming. Okay, so we need a little bit of soul sand. Oh, right. For the peeps that tune in often, you might remember a waffle from the past when I was saying that when you're like restful, when you're in like periods of transition and rest, you can have some of your best creative ideas. It's why I now like factor a little bit of a lay-in in the morning. Because when I wake up, right, I used to have this like, let's go mentality. Like, get up, 5 in the morning, man, get up and go for a run, that kind of thing. But now I'm like, I'm going to lay in bed for a bit and think about the things I'm doing in the day. And by that, I mean creative stuff, right? And that's when I have some really good ideas. And I was thinking about this contraption again, as one does, you know, laying in bed in the morning, thinking about Minecraft. I realized that you need to throttle something here. Let me see if I can think it through again. So, items from the top need priority because... Oh no, or was it something different? I think it was locking both. What do you need to do? So... We could give items from the top priority and the system wouldn't ever break, as long as the clock speed at the bottom is the same as this or faster. But then if you're unloading from a shulker, this stuff will back up, which is fine because that doesn't break. But I think the idea I had was maybe you should throttle both at the same time, just in case. But when I look at it again, I think it's just this top one that needs the throttle. Now, I kind of want to leave myself space for aesthetics here to cover up the chests. Then I need a space for, like, not to have redstone next to the hopper. So I think what we have to do is bring a signal up through this space and then plug it into something directly alongside that hopper. So if we start to back up items down the bottom, we then throttle them at the top. That, I believe, is going to be easier to do when we start building the elevator. I think it will be obvious when we build the elevator where to put this. We got some noises in the ear. We got Crystal Latex gifting a sub to Shush Kiron. Thank you for gifting the sub. Dang Hio, thank you for subscribing as well. Bear, to answer your question from 6 minutes ago, forever and always. Forever and always. Well, not always. Not on stream days. Right, let's go and get the redstone box. Okay. Actually, I don't. Might not need that. Might not need the observers. I mean, I'm just grabbing a little bit of everything here, aren't I? Hoppers is probably the main thing. Okay, so we're gonna have hopper. I'm going to bring it out behind... Oh, wait. Have I already decided it's going here? Apparently I have, so... it needs to be one block lower. I mean, it just keeps getting in the way! Right. Then a chain of hoppers. To that chest. That's very important. I'm going to put blocks on them, because if you put blocks over the top of hoppers, that helps reduce its impact, which is pretty cool. They have to be full blocks, and they can be any type of full block now. X just prevented COVID-20. By killing a bat. Dang it. Alright, so... I could do with a target block there, and then this would work. Whoops. Do you know, I need to use the item swapper mod more. I say this all the time. It is a beautiful thing. Do I only have one of those? Did I only fish out one, or was there only one left? Oh, there was only one left. I went and used the redstone farm today, right? Overnight, sorry, the witch farm. Did an AFK session at the witch farm overnight. Do you want to see how much redstone I got? I don't know if this is because the farm we've got's better, but like... the whole inventory filled up really quick. Like, I might have gotten double this. I kind of need to do a test, I think. We need to set up like an auto crafter and find out how incredible that witch farm is. But I'll save that for another time. I think that'll make a really cool little bit in a video to like upgrade the witch farm storage and like talk about how many items it produces and stuff. So save that one for another time. But that, I was like, is that enough to last me the season? You know, I don't know. Probably not. I do plan on doing like mega redstone contraptions later on in the season. Where did I put that wood? Down here, yeah. But yeah, crazy amount of redstone, right? Crazy amount of redstone. Oh, only 2. Right, that'll do. How's no one stuck TNT under these? I hope someone hasn't. Someone could have put TNT under those buttons. I'm not the sort of person that takes those jokes well, and I know it, right? Like, that's just how my brain works. If someone blows up something in my base, I don't go to the funny side of it. My brain is like, I have to rebuild that now. That's just me. Hey, I think I might fill in the spaces around this glass, but not right now. Let's get it built. So that's going to go all the way up, you know, to the top. Problem solved, right? Maybe. That's going to go across to there. So when it comes off, it's going to be... What? Oh, no, XP, don't! It'll make me sad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How you doing, XP, my dude? This water actually just goes to the right spot, so that's great. Might put an extra hopper there and have a block there. That, to me, makes sense. We're going to put blocks across all the hoppers. Should have maybe done that first. Yeah, legitimately, though, like, I've never taken well to those kind of jokes, and I'm not saying that's anyone else's problem. That's something I need to work on. I should be better at taking a joke. Okay, there we go. What is it like to see X being angry? I don't think I get angry much anymore. I mean, it's like really bad would have to happen to make me angry. Okay, well, I'll tell you what, you could blow up my storage system. That'll make me angry. That wouldn't be a joke to me. I'd be like, this means war. We need a roof on this thing as well, now that I think about it. Okay, so glass goes all the way around like that. Water at the top, brilliant. We'll have to put a lid on it. So when we have too much items in the system, we're going to send a signal over to this corner and send it upwards. Or maybe just send it up here and then reroute it at the top. I think I'm going to put it in the corner, though. I had this idea that we'd be putting iron bars here, but then I realized you see bits of the redstone. But, like, we never embrace that enough. We never, like, embrace the fact that we can see the redstone. So I'm going to put it here in this corner, and maybe we'll see, like, the little torches sort of poking through at a later date, at a later time. Okay, so I can get a signal from here. And I can actually use the natural signal strength to bring the signal over to the next spot, because it has to back up a little bit. That being said, if a shulker box passes into this, I think I want to make it a full signal, because if a shulker box goes in there, that could drastically change the signal strength. So we want to subtract. There's like just enough room here. But we gotta get the components correct. So like subtract mode. My favorite thing to do often is it normally is a crafter or a lectern. I don't have lecterns, but in this situation, there's another block that's more fitting. It is a block of redstone, funny enough, because we want full signal. Let's go put that there. Whoops. Now, if I put a torch behind this, you'll see... Do we get a signal right? Because it's full strength. Oh no, it overrides it. So it needs to go one back. Redstone with X, people. I hope you're learning. There you go. Now, because it's a signal strength of 1, we therefore need it to be a repeater. And then we need a second repeater because we have to avoid that piece of redstone. So 2 ticks of delay, not really a problem, is it? We're just getting the redstone from A to B. If we put a block there and a piece of redstone here, it interacts with that, which... actually, that doesn't make a difference, right? Because if that's in the normal mode, it doesn't do anything to it. If it's in subtract mode... Oh, we make a clock. We make a signal strength thing. Which we don't want. We don't want that. Yeah, that's interesting. Alright. Okay, so now if ever that hopper backs up, we will change this signal here. And I say change because we need to see what it is when we get to the top. Well, actually, it's going to here. I don't want it to interact with any other redstone, so I'm going to go like that. And then we're good. Now, it's locked right now, which means we need to actually flip that. So we'll go back by 1 and change that around. And that's it. That's it. We've added in the little flow control as well. Brilliant. Okay. All right, what's next? Bucket of water? With our powers combined. Ah, another frog-like customer for Refo. I assume. I could be wrong. Do I have like a infinite water thing around here? I really should get one. Really should put one of those around here, right? I'll put one down as a reminder over in this space. I'm probably not going to get to redecorating this side anytime soon. We've got a noise in here. We got Unsvat here with a tip. We also had Divine Cheese coming in with a Prime subscription. Thank you, Divine Cheese. I watch your streams quite often, so I thought I'd say thank you. I also find your streams relaxing when I need to turn my brain off or dissolve the uncomfortable thoughts. I hope this finds you well. It does. Thank you, my dude. I'm glad I can be of help in some way. And appreciate your tip, your donation. Thanks for supporting the channel, man. Right, so this goes here, that goes there. In goes the tool. We're done with all of this stuff. Didn't need a note block after all. Gonna go up and place more glass. Gonna place more glass. Gonna need some kelp. I knew there was like one more thing that we wanted. Then we'll be good. Then we'll be good. Love some redstone, says Mad Blue Duck. I'm glad you do. I'm glad you do. Redstone's cool. What mod is that for the numbers on the redstone? It's not a mod, it's a resource pack. Let's go up here. Temporary stuff, temporary stuff. What is this bit behind me here? Is it close to anything? No. I have plans. I'm going to use Chili Free Cam for a minute just because I don't want to go wandering outside. But, you know, every time I use Cheaty Free Cam, I question my use of it. And I'm like, I could have actually walked out here and showed you it in, like, the standing here perspective. I kind of realized that this stuff here is super close to our storage system. Yeah, I was going to put a shop right here and another one right here. Oh, look at that. It's way too close. I'm going to have to do something clever with those shops to make them work. But yeah, I've got plans for shops there. And I might not actually have the space because of how close all of this stuff is, right? Another one where it is when we get to here, right? Again, look at how much space there is behind it. Probably enough to make that work. I think I'll find a way to make all of it work, but this is just classic Minecraft, right? You can't plan that far ahead for everything, and then you start putting your things together and you find out they take up too much space, and if only I'd have moved this thing all the way over that way by 2 blocks. It's too much sometimes, it's too much. Yo, Define Cheese, thank you for using the Prime and gifting a sub to Chaos System. Thank you for doing that, appreciate it. Thank you for doing that. Right, I'm going to fill this all up with glass, which is probably a better way of getting up than what I was previously trying. Ooh, and then it gets a bit awkward. Now I'm sort of like on the outside, right? That seems about right. Hop over there, hop around here. It's a shame that anything placed in Minecraft is permanent. Not if you use TNT. You can always go and move stuff. The problem is when you have to move big stuff. It's just painful, right? I don't get a lot of enjoyment out of that kind of grind. Maybe in the past it wasn't so bad, but played this game for a long time. Right, let's go and plop some glass on here, but I do need to go down there next, I guess. If it'll let me. Come back up again. And then break all of this all the way down. And then whoosh, it works. Sweet. Absolutely solid. And yeah, none of the item filters are set up. So that's the next thing I gotta do, I guess. I think I need a bit of a brain break from this project, though. You know what I mean? I feel a bit of a brain break is necessary. Yo, Celtic 1988, thank you for 3 months. 85 hours of watching X this year. Let's celebrate with another Prime sub. Thanks for hours of content, laughs, and waffles. Appreciate it, my dude. Thanks for coming by and supporting again. Sabalget says, I don't think 3cam is cheaty. It's not like X-ray. You can't see ores or anything. Yeah, that's fair enough. To me, what it's doing is it's breaking the immersion. And I noticed that, like, I checked something where I could go and walk over here and look, right? So I'm trying to find that balance, and I want to use it as little as possible. And I feel like today I've probably been a bit lenient with using it. Like, I feel like it's better to be in the world and be more immersed in what you're doing than to use the quick cheaty free cam to, like, look around the corner. But there's times and places. There's times when it saves you a lot of, like, irritating effort. And then there's times when you're just being lazy. And so I kind of want to find that balance. And the ultimate goal is to use it as little as possible so that, like, the videos feel a bit more immersive. But every now and then, you know, like when we were digging the tunnels, it just, like, it'd have been absolutely painful not to have free cam to figure out where you are. Like, you'd be doing coordinates, you'd be running up top, looking at the coordinates again. And so it's a balancing act, but that's my philosophy behind why I'm trying to use it much less than usual. Now, we're going to take a little break, and then we'll come back to Hermitcraft. We're going to go check out Winnie T. Ford's Bonsai Treehouse Village, and I'm pretty sure we're being... Bear, why are you posting that? I'm not going to do them the second you share them, just so it's clear. Right. We've done... Sorry, I've lost my train of thought now. We've been to Winnie T. Ford's before, quite recently, so I've got a feeling this is going to be a particular part of it that we're checking out today. It's a large bonsai tree with several houses in its branches. It's a large pot of houses and pumpkins in a melon city. Awesome. So while we check out this build, let me explain. This is the server that you can join if you are a subscriber here. Gifted, Prime, or regular, any type, you can join the community. The peeps here would love to have you. And it's a Discord server, and it's a Minecraft server as well. There's loads of talented, amazing builders on here. Winnie is one of them, and this bonsai tree is kind of bonkers. Because the branches go down instead of up. It like throws you off a little bit, but I can see what it is. It's very cool. There's the bonsai plot. Here's the branches going up, and then the leaves coming off. It's so cool. I'm really liking all of this down here. Like infrastructure of the city. Like it almost feels like it's not wheat fields, it's just yellow grass on the banks of the water coming through. But yeah, this is what we're here to check out today. There's also an incredible rainbow over there. Rainbow? Hot air balloon. Don't know why my brain gave me the word rainbow then. Now, if you were on the server, of course, you would see this from the perspective of the player walking around the bonsai tree. Which I've got to say is an interesting one. No interiors here. But probably lots of views. Lots of views all over the place. And staircases. Last time we were here, we went over into that area. I remember it. Oh! Oh, there's another bonsai tree with buildings on it. Wow, okay. So there's not just one. There's like a bonsai build-off going on over here. I like the mushroom just being in the middle of the build. That's not what you'd expect, but it works. Hot air balloon, yes, we've got an air balloon, not a rainbow. not a rainbow, very different things. Look at that. Steampunky airship, that's super cool. That's super cool too. Let's go and check out this other bonsai tree as well. This is a really big area. Really big area. I like this too. This feels a little less bonsai because it doesn't have like the same sort of pot, although you could argue all of this structure down here is probably what that's about. And it's got lots of little houses on it, very cool stuff. There's the hot air balloon, aka a rainbow. And as I fly around here, I'm now aware that like Bobby mod is going to keep stuff loaded, so we're going to see the scope of the area a bit more. You like the base structure under the tree? Yeah, both of them got really cool structures underneath. This one's more of like a table and pot, and that one's more of a subtle structure. But yeah, this is Winnie's area, and what we do in these live streams is we put a little spotlight on the community, show off people's builds. Sometimes they're here with us in chat, sometimes they'll get to see it later. I see Winnie's in chat. I like building tree houses. Yes, yes. Did you build both of these then? Because you built loads of stuff over this area. It's really cool. So yeah, peeps, hopefully you got some inspiration. This is a cool building too. And if you are a subscriber here... Oh look, free range honey farm. If you are a subscriber here... Oh dang, I'm liking these details. You do get access. If you want access, just ask in the chat. They will hook you up. That is a cool leaf combination right there. I believe that is oak and then the biome and azalea on top. That kind of pops out very well. It's something I've noticed with doing custom trees is a combo of leaves can like really give a build a lot. But yes, let's get back to Hermitcraft. Thank you, Winnie, for letting us tour the bonsai tree. And yeah, okay. So we kind of need to set up filters next. Let's get on top of that. Now, I need to rename items for this, right? I usually use iron bars. There should be a bunch of iron bars. Maybe not. Let's go get some iron from over here. Make some iron bars, turn them into filters. Hi, X. I've been trying to recreate your base copper golem, copper golem storage system on Java. But you can't get the hopper under the filter chest to drain properly. The second slot where a placeholder item empties out instead of the filter item. The second slot drains out. Well, that would suggest that what's below it is the first item and it's filled it up. But then, if it's filled it up, how would the second one drain? That's really odd behavior. I would recommend building it again in creative mode. Like go to a creative world, build it again, and just like double triple check what you're doing, because that functionally sounds like it can't work. Like if it's not draining out the first item, it's because the inventory below it is full. Therefore, the second item shouldn't be able to come out. Unless the second item is full of like every slot has the second item in it, but not full stacks, then it would drain out. So like check what it's going into. But that is very, very odd. Hashtag filter. Okay, now when it comes to filtering items, if I'm not mistaken, this one works by just putting 4 of the other type of item in, right? Oh god, this inventory is disgusting. Thankfully, someone built a storage system to deal with all of this. And that means I've got a place to just dump these things. I'm like, had enough, dump it. Had enough inventory stuff for today, dump it. Yeah, I guess we're kind of done with the axe. God, I love the organization here, right? What hosting is Hermitcraft based on? You want to create your own with your friends, please? Well, we use a dedicated machine. Can't remember, OVH I think it is, but like, you know, if you want to create a server with your friends, doing what we do isn't always the best route. You need a lot of technical knowledge. Robbie1579, thank you for the prime. Appreciate it, my dude. Appreciate it. How much dedicated WAM? I think it's just 8 gigs. You don't want to assign a lot of RAM to Minecraft. It'll slow it down. Let's see. Right, so So it's stone, then cobble. Dirt, then grass. Netherrack, apparently? I guess I probably put that there. Granite. So then you 3 different stones. Then gravel, then that. So 3 different stones. Gravel, then netherrack. And very last is tough. So let's go grab a little bit of tough and the 3 different stones and gravel. And I don't need a lot. So 3 different stones, gravel. Followed by tough. What order are they in? Andesite. No, granite, andesite, diorite. That was important. Last of all, tough. Let's go make those filters. What am I building? Great question. We're building a storage system. We're currently setting up the filters for bulk storage. That should drain to like 43 or something like that, right? 41. Oh my god, this is so easy. It's so easy now. We're so close to like having the whole thing running and going. Is it me or did the music just stop completely? It did. That's really weird. It said it would last for longer than that. Huh. Huh. Strange stuff. Whoops. Dang, I didn't need... I was going to make way more iron bars, and then I was like... Oh, wait a minute. Don't you just need one of each now? That's working. Didn't need a lot at all. Cool. All right. Now, an important thing is that you don't put these back into the system. And rather than store it somewhere, I just like to throw it away. Just let them despawn. Your proud accomplishment was building a sugarcane farm without using any tutorial. For a redstone noob like me, I'm proud. That's awesome. That's the way you do it, right? You learn by doing. Challenge yourself, you have a good time. Well done, you. Xisuma, what is on the table on the right side of your GUI when you open the inventory? That is timings. Timings for... Sorry, not timings. Comparative signal strengths. For quantities inside of storage. Right, so in theory, this right here works. Do I want to test it? Let's send in 1 item. That item will go up the item elevator, right? Yep. I feel like I didn't see it. But it's there. It went up. Then it will go around into this thing. It's probably there already. Yep, there you go. Now that's cycling. Oh my god, the lifespan of a sapling in our storage system, people. Oh look, we can watch it activate. Very cool. You'll notice at the top, it's the ones that are like offset by 1. This thing's also designed so like 5 items flow through at a time. Which Rasenko is probably knew of and then forgot about, because he used to do 1 at a time and then Cybot like modified it. So like 5 items flow through at once. You can see where it is if you look at these comparators as well. So it's at the mid bit. It's making its way around, and then it will go up to the top, and then the Copper Golem will do its thing. So it got through this bit, like that worked. That's good. Now I got to test it with a shulker box, don't I? It's making me nervous. Let's go and put 12 of those in. One thing I can't do is put empty shulker boxes into this system. Yay! Items are going up. We'll see a shulker box before long. Or did the shulker box already make its way up? Let's have a little investigate. So, the shulker box would have ended up in here. There's nothing locking it. I think we just missed the shulker box going up. And then it will go across and it will start making its way through this system. Which it is doing. If we look at the back, we're probably going to start to see more of those comparators light up. Yep. Yep. It's working. Now, there should be a shulker box going through there, though. That's my only concern. Let's go ahead and rip that out for a moment and just see if a shulker box arrives there. Couldn't I put the shulker box filter that drops one item into it just before so it doesn't break? That's a really good idea. The only problem is I've engineered all of this now, and my use case is like, just don't put empty shulker boxes in. And if it breaks, it doesn't break in a really bad way. Like you just have to break it and then put it back in again, kind of thing. So nice idea, but yeah, that also might be a little more advanced than you think, because then you've got to detect the empty one ahead of time and stuff, and build some edge cases for that. You know? Who else is on the server? These wonderful people. Let's go check it out. Hasn't arrived yet. Hasn't arrived. We're getting close. We're getting close. How do you send follower emotes, says Starbang. I assume by being a follower. Oh yeah, I've picked up the iron bars. It's funny because I immediately walked back into that area. Well done, good spot. Put them away. Right, it's going through the last bit, so now we should start to see things arrived here. Brilliant. It's a dumb question, but in the near future, I want to be a hermit too. How can I earn the senior hermit's recognition? Look, I say this to everyone. Don't bank on becoming a hermit. Like, it's a very slim chance of something like that happening. Put your time into energy into creating your own hermitcraft. Like, what is your hermitcraft? Not meaning go and make a server and invite your friends. I'm talking about what is something really cool you could do with your time, and it would be great to be a part of. Figure out what that is, and pursue it. But like, if you make your own thing, if you start with your own thing, you're going to have a much better chance of being in something that's cool than hoping of like the moonshot, because it's very exclusive to get into Hermitcraft. We're not saying that like, oh, look at us. It's just the nature of what this is. We very rarely recruit people, and they tend to be, you know, established content creators that are close to our community at this point. Like, if you're just a random person out there on the internet, the chances are unbelievably slim. Not impossible. Nothing's impossible, but I would say you're better off putting your time and energy into creating your own Hermitcraft. Figure out, like, what the most amazing, awesome thing you could do is. And go be that. Yo, we got Sunset Glamour subscribing and Totally Not Toaster. Thank you, my dudes, for subscribing. Much appreciated. Secret tunnel through the mountains. Oh, the secret tunnel is finished. We did that in good time. We had a very productive stream. I didn't know how long it would take for us to do the secret tunnel. We also did this, which is great, up and running, tested a little bit. I wanted to build another farm as well, but I don't think we can even start on that. Why is there rotted flesh in the iron farm? Because zombies sometimes get lured towards the villagers and then they fall into the trap. So it's also a very luxurious, in a roundabout way, rotted flesh farm. Let's go see what's happened around the server since I last got out of my man cave. Or golem cave. Is it a golem cave? I think it's a golem cave, right? Scar's going to start working on the shopping district soon. I'm excited to see what he's going to do with it. I like that he's taking the lead. I think we need more of that on Hermitcraft. Like, just, if you've got an idea, rock and roll and do it. It's not a bug, it's a feature. What are we referring to there? I'm not even sure. It's a tunnel that has no ends. That's very true. It's a tunnel that leads back to itself. Most inefficient rotted flesh farm probably like ever. Pretty much. Wells' castle looks awesome. I like that it complements our seed pretty well, if you think about it. Like, this is really complementary of the seed that we have this season. Like, having these view at a distance builds that like stand out. Like, Ethos is going to look incredible over there. Looking back across Scar, seeing stuff in the shopping district. Like, I think if we play this right, you know, by the end of the season, there'll just be loads of amazing stuff to like wander around and see and explore the world. Wells's build has grown a ton since you last saw it. Yeah, he's been working hard on it. Oh, we're going down here, are we? I missed the path completely. Let's do this. Hello? Is anyone here? Ow! Banged my head. I banged my head. Where can I tie up Horsey?
Howdy, Xisuma.
Hey, Joe.
There's horse parking on the left side of the building.
Left side. Oh, right here, right here.
Speakers, it sounds like.
Really? Give me a 1-2.
Yeah, I'm hearing myself back again.
What about now?
Let's see.
Oh, yeah, the whole time that was on. I didn't even notice. Dang, sorry about that. Where are you, by the way? Wait, I can't hear Joe.
Yeah, sorry, I wondered. I thought you were over by the horse parking.
Hi, I'm below you. Whoa!
Hi. I'm
What are you
above
up to, Joe?
I was just working on getting all this laid out. There's a lot of work left to do.
Oh my god, wow. Dude! You're building like crazy!
You know, I try, but they say only a madman can draw a perfect circle, so that's the way to do it.
I mean, that is a pretty perfect circle for a block game, I would say.
Ah, thank you, yeah.
Therefore, you're a madman.
I try. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where the stages need to go and all that, but in order to do that, I need to figure out where the walls need to go, and then, you know, so it's all a whole thing, you know?
Yeah, I know how it is building in Minecraft, figuring it all out, measuring distances. Oh, it looks great though, man. You're doing a great job with this build.
Oh, thank you, yeah. I'm excited to start doing the more creative stuff on the interior with the set building and things. So
Yeah.
this is just the warehouse building I need to do first.
Got ya. Yeah, I know how it goes. So, Joe, I'm streaming at the moment. Is it all right if I send my folks over to you?
Yeah, I'll be over here working for a few more hours.
Awesome. So they're gonna see more of this amazing build get built. That sounds like a good time. Yeah, happy to, Joe. I got a raid and run though. I got other things to do today, so enjoy, and I'll bump into you again in no time, I'm sure.
Sounds good. Thanks,
Cool.
X.
See you around, Joe.
See ya.
All right, people, that's the end of my live stream. I'm going to, as I said, raid and run, that kind of thing. I got some stuff to crack on with. Thank you for joining me today. I might stream again tomorrow or Saturday, and then we do have one Sunday. So there's the event on Sunday. Let me throw that up on the screen for you. I've actually got the wrong thing there, haven't I? We've got the event on Sunday. That's locked in. Saturday or Friday will be my next stream. I'll probably do one or the other. So, you know, hit follow and you can catch that in the future. But that's going to be it for me this one. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for tuning in. Let's go and raid Joe. And you just saw what Joe is up to. So if you want some more Hermitcraft action, stick around. And that's it from me, people. Let me bounce. Right, there it is. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Thanks for your amazing support. Enjoy the raid, and I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.